Hyundai is on a roll at the moment. If you listen to that creaking sound, it's the trophy cabinet at Hyundai HQ creaking under the weight of all the awards that they have got for various cars recently. The Tucson, the Ioniq 5 in particular, World Car of the Year, Auto Express Car of the Year. So we have high hopes for this new car, the Hyundai Ioniq 6. Now, you don't want to hear me talking about this car when I have design royalty with me today, and a guy who I class as a good friend. Mr. SangYup Lee is the chief designer of Hyundai and Genesis, and today he's going to talk us around, this is a real privilege, talk us around this new car, the Ioniq 6. SangYup, it's so good to see you. Now, let's start with the front of the car. Now, you know how much I love my little gadgets and lights and parametric pixel lights, which you've done some great work with. You've been quite restrained here. There's just some parametric pixel lights here, not all the way across the front. So could you just tell us your thinking about the front of the car?
Yes, of course. 2019, we launched Prophecy concept. It got really well received. The streamline, the 1930s inspiration, is all about creating the timeless, the future classic out of it. What we see here is Ioniq 6. We really want to capture the integrity of the Prophecy into the production car. This is what it is. What makes this car is very special is a puristic streamline form. So we don't want to put a lot of styling feature and the gimmicks on the car. It's basically the purity that inspired from the aircraft design 1930s. The single curvature design we really want to apply into this vehicle here as well.
You use one of my favorite planes, the DC-3, as an example. So it's about letting the design do the talking.
Absolutely. So car talks a lot more. We want to really stay the reductive and minimalistic design as much as possible, just like a DC-3. So when you see the car, it's nothing overdone. It's a very simple, puristic form, and also the form itself is driven by the wind tunnel. So we achieve on this car is a remarkable CD number of 0.21, which I'm so proud of. So every single surface is actually confirmed and tested from the wind tunnel. This is why we got the car so puristic, every surface. And even on the small air curtain here, and with all the small wheel lip on the wheel arch, is all driven by form follow the function. So when you have a car like this with a pure form follow function, you don't need to do a lot more the styling cues on the car. So
it's very difficult to make a car designed in the wind tunnel to look beautiful, though, which, you know, you've done a good job here of making this car look beautiful. But it's the details, isn't it? Like these, the clever light signatures.
The Ioniq brand is actually the something I mentioned to you before, that we want to create a future classic. The Ioniq 5 is basically the inspiration from 70s. And this car is obviously inspiration from 30. The common thread between Ioniq cars is a pixel graphic, especially in the EV era. The traditional grille shape no longer applies to create a brand character out of it. So instead, we want to have a pixel graphic to have an identifier of the brand of Ioniq.
Well, let's have a look around the car. Can we have a look at the side, if that's okay? Now, you designers always talk about proportions being hugely important, and I think the side view of this car is my favourite. There are hints of TT, even Porsche 911, but I think it's very much Ioniq. But tell us about the side profile and what you were trying to do.
Even before TT and Porsche, we're actually more inspiration from DC-3. The puristic curve, the one curve design, it really defined what this car is about. So if you take a look at it, it's got really low hood, the single curvature on the roofline with a long wheelbase of the 2.95 m that really define that what this Ioniq 6 is about. The curvature roof has really stretched the roof, creating very nice interior space, almost like a cocoon around, and that is about the whole proportion of the vehicle. So in a way, outside in, at the same time, inside out.
And does the car being all electric lend itself to this sort of design easier?
Yeah, exactly. And we have to really almost like leave it on the side in the traditional way of design ICE car. ICE car, obviously, you have a powertrain on the front and with all the trunk space and everything. Before that, we're actually started thinking about what EV can do, what dedicated EV.
Yeah.
The skateboard platform with a flat floor and with a different, you're not going to have a big powertrain in front. So we really like to challenge what dedicated EV can do, make a differentiation from every other car on the street.
And there are some lovely little details. You've got cameras rather than
Right.
mirrors on this, flush door handles as well. Just talking to the technology in the car.
Absolutely. It's all about the balancing the technology and the customer focus. So when it doesn't matter, it's a high tech. If it's too cold, you're actually afraid to use it. We want to challenge the car that has all the high tech features, but it's actually really warm that communicate to you as a part of your lifestyle. So obviously the flush door handle is really emphasize the purity of the design, where the camera is actually something that is a unique feature. It kind of like has a little bit of analog touch. You see the pixel through the glass, and also at the same time it has a little bit of translucent panel to making a story out of it. So
I think you've had some fun with some of these details, haven't you? Having a bit of a laugh. With some of
I
this
think the
stuff.
detail is very, very important. And once you have especially once you have a big form of the statement of the proportion, all the detail make the car a difference. Because it's actually a small detail. If it's 1, 2, 3, when it adds up, it creates a very nice story together.
And if you like cars with a bit of a sense of humour, a bit of an interesting feature, come and have a look at the back. Now, SangYup, I understand this car has a real party trick.
There we
I've
go.
seen it, I love it. So let's say welcome to the Ioniq 6.
When you walk up to the car, we wanted to create some special story out of the welcome signature. And pixel light can do a lot in part of it. So let's see. The car welcomes you as you walk up to the car in very nice, high-tech, but yet is a very warm, inviting way at the
It's
same
a
time.
bit Knight Rider, it's a bit like Cyborgs in Battlestar Galactica, all that sort of 70s, 80s stuff happening again, which
I
can't
can't help because I grew up with Knight Rider.
Yeah.
I still have a model at my home, so but Knight Rider in very modern, contemporary, I'll say.
But it's very smooth,
Yes.
very clean, very aerodynamic, but with beautiful little design features on here as well at the back.
I think it's actually the same thing I mentioned to you on the front, continue to the rear end. Obviously, the puristic approach on the car is actually continue to the rear end. The whole rear end actually driven by functionality, particularly aerodynamics. So every surface actually all came from wind tunnel. Even in the small step over here, that is a 2 counts over here, and the same thing with the air curtain on the side. So in a way, the foam follow the function in very puristic way, continues to the rear end of the vehicle.
And it has a trunk, a boot, and a fruit or frunk, so plenty of load space. It's practical as well.
Right, I think that is very important. I mean, I often get inspiration from not so much from other competition, but from customers' lifestyle. So sometimes I park the car in a big shopping mall, looking at all the cars, how customers reacting, how mom actually putting the little children in the back seat, how they load the stuff in their boots. So actually those are the source of the inspiration. Maybe I should lower the deck just a little bit lower to have the more easier access to the vehicle. And this car is all about it.
And design starting as it should do with the customer, and the customer is going to spend most of their time inside. So there's some lovely little features in there as well. So let's go and have a look inside the car.
Let's go check it out.
Now, SangYup, we've had some more fun in here. The thing I really like is the lighting on the doors. I mean, we see lots of thin lines and there's a thin LED strip here, but the lighting on the doors is really clever.
I think this is one of the key features on the vehicle here. Obviously, one single curvature that creates the interior more like a cocoon. It really nicely hugs you around. And we want to create a mood at the same time as well. And the car interior design, we use quite a lot of light pipe this day. Can we be something else? Can we feel like being in the car almost like being in a very nice lounge or like you're the special, yes. Yeah. So this is all about it. So we use the lighting, all use indirect light. The creating the mood almost like ambient, all create a very nice environment around the car.
So projecting light rather than just displaying light.
Absolutely. And also we put the translucent panel over here. the mat pocket, so when the light hits it bounces. You see the patterns over here as well.
Yeah.
So that is the trick that we play a lot. It's all about inspiration from the furniture design, not traditional car interior design. So whole atmosphere is almost like I feel like you're being in a very special your personal lounge. How it feels like.
And there's lots of practicality. You know, it's not a glove box; it's a glove drawer. You can put stuff down. It's not going to slide all over the place. And given the proportions of the car and the shape of the roof, I've sat in the back. Clearly, I'm not a small guy, and there's so much leg room and headroom as well. It's thinking about the customer.
Absolutely, because this is where the customer is spending most of the time. We don't want to compromise anything, the car being the sportier character to it. So interior space is very, very important, and also usage. The UX is the design is the UX. So this is why we put a drawer, almost like a furniture design instead of the glove box. So you can store a lot more, and you can easily use the back and forth together. And also at the same time, since center console here, we managed to have a very, very flat over here. So you can use your laptop, you can use your iPad when the car is in the station position. You can do your own work over here. And
SangYup, I think you've done an awesome job here. I think this is the sort of car. We're currently in really cool East London, but equally really cool downtown Seoul. I think this is the car to go for a night out. So I'm going to come over to Seoul and we'll go for a night out. But
you're
SangYup,
always welcome, my friend.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you,
Really
Steve.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is a prototype, so gentle with the door. But this is the Ioniq 6. The exciting thing is we've got 5 and now 6. We've seen a 7 concept, so there's still a 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. Loads of Ioniqs, but positioning wise it's going to be slightly above the Ioniq 5, probably in pricing as well. Batteries, we don't know all that technical stuff yet. 77 kilowatt hour battery, probably do about 300 miles on a charge. But this for now though is about the design, so let us know what you think. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the belly button thing to get alerts and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I think they've done a pretty good job. Is it going to be another award winner like the Ioniq 5? Time will tell.